Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to post-university coverage of college football 25 here in the ECAC. Getting on board with week 4, where the rubber meets the road for so many of these undefeated squads that still remain here, as BigSneezy on Ohio State. It's got home field advantage, which is quite literally against the rules. We'll take a brief transition. If you missed last week, we have got you with some of our score lines. MunDayne taking a closer than it looks at first glance victory against Muskingum. He needed overtime to do it in game 1. Moving on to stay undefeated here in week 4. Monster Mash, the beneficiary of a forfeit W. We take those every single day of the week. BigSneezy going to remain undefeated as well with a 2-0 victory up against the SEU Fire. Adonis, speaking of close games, needed a third one to stay in the undefeated column here in week 4. Unfortunately, his trip in the undefeated circle will end at week 3. He's taking a forfeit loss this week, unfortunately, against Northwestern Oklahoma State. Happens to the best of us. I'm sure he'll be back next week on everyone's screens. And Navy also off stream, getting a 2-1 victory up against Buena Vista University. So we get back to the site of the action. And no Adonis tonight, but we will have looks like Monster Mash is streaming their match. We're working on the MunDayne POV. Looks like some tech issues there on their end, but we'll try to get that out to y'all as soon as possible, as well as providing updates on Navy's match happening off stream against Mount Aloysius College. We'll hope to provide that update later on in the stream. We'll get on board Sneezy up against the East Central University Tigers. BigSneezy on Ohio State for the kickoff. So BigSneezy going to start off with the ball on defense here. We will start with the ball on offense in the third quarter. Let's see how this first defensive possession goes for BigSneezy. Talked about it in spades all season. That linebacker play so important. BigSneezy making the user a factor. Got a hand on the running back there for a short gain of 2. Sneezy heavy-handed, moving that running back or that linebacker right to the line of scrimmage. He reads the run. He is right a second time. We have 3rd and 9. The BigSneezy. This time those middle linebackers brought close to the line of scrimmage. Despite the empty backfield, BigSneezy looking to play heavy-handed here on 3rd and long. Surely you see him drop back. There's that drop back. Gonna force the drop, and we have 4th and 9. BigSneezy defense holding off strong so far. And ECU respecting the offensive game, bringing out the punting unit. BigSneezy gonna get right into the offensive game here. Looking to turn that corner, gonna spin it right back into a crowd to be brought down to the 35. We'll stay with the BigSneezy. Again, we still need to wrangle the MunDayne POV Monsters match against Erie Community College, the SUNY Erie Community College Cats. We saw them earlier on in this semester. They'll be making another appearance tonight up against monstah on stream as well. For now, we've got BigSneezy on the offensive side of the football. First possession. Already went perfect on defense. Gonna look to scramble on offense. Able to shake that defender, grab the slide. Nice safe yardage. Ohio State, that quarterback under center, not the largest threat to scramble here, but good awareness by Sneezy. Speaking of awareness, spotting that his man has a step on the left sideline, gonna take it all the way to the end zone. Give that man an inch, and he'll take a touchdown. The PAT is good, and Sneezy off to a hot start, picking up the stop on defense. Going 2 plays all the way to the house. As we'll go searching for updates on the MunDayne POV. Still unsure what's going on with the MunDayne POV. We will attempt to bring that to everyone's screen as soon as possible. However, and don't let the text up there fool ya. Monstah Mash's game is up here against ECAC, Erie Community College. Dangerous ball to the left sideline, and it's caught. No, it's dropped. Oh my goodness. Monstah trying to take a page out of Sneezy's book, out of the post-university offense. We've talked all semester how dangerous it is, how important that read is, being able to spot when your wide receiver's got a step on that defense. Said Monstah's going to have a tough 3rd and long, make it a 4th and long now. Surely you see the punting unit come out. You're down a score, but do not want to give your opponent so close to that field goal, or to that red zone rather, as dangerous return going to be shut down at about midfield for Monstah Mash. Monstah sticking with his lineman play. He's the only one out of the 4 we've had on stream. Adonis, MunDayne, and Sneezy all playing from that linebacker spot. Monstah sticking to his offensive lineman here. It's going to be good for a gain of 0. Going to be 3rd and short for the SUNY Erie Cats here. Dangerous screen pass, and it's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Good stop for Monstah Mash, but the offense not done yet. They see they're at about midfield. Rather than try to pin MunDayne, or pin Monstah, excuse me, into his own end zone with a punt, the offense is going to stay out on 4th and long. Going to put up pressure on the quarterback. Monstah going to start on the right side of the field here on offense, on the opposing 49. Shorter field than normal for Monstah here. Want to see him convert on this trip down the floor. Quarterback, or running back draw rather. Just good for a gain of 2. And Monstah, this is what you want to see in the 2nd quarter. It's a low-scoring affair. We know Monstah has been able to keep games close with his defense, so keeping this game score low is important here. Dangerous ball right to the defense into the zone coverage. A pick 6 is on the table. Quinn Ewers can't make it. We got wide receivers trying to get back into play. Instead, it's going to be a 61-yard pick 6 for the Cats. Dangerous ball there by Monstah Mash. And the fake PAT is coming out, and it's good for 2. Make it 15-0 in favor of the Erie Community College Cats here, as they just more than double the score here at the end of the first half. Again, we did not see the start of this game. We don't know how the possession arrow is moving for monstah here, so you want to see him put any sort of points on the board as he approaches halftime.
Yeah, they have to recapture some momentum here. What they can't do is go 3 and out and give the ball right back.
I believe we heard those commentators on stream. Obviously do not want to give up any more points, especially with that uncertainty for the possession arrow. That's a dangerous ball. The zone defense lying in wait. They lateral it to another defender who's going to run it to the 5-yard line. Dangerous to lob the ball like that with those defenders lying in wait. monstah testing the defense. The Cats were ready. Run play on first down. Going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. But the Cats surely looking to take control of this game here. Another touchdown. Put it firmly in their grasp. But again, especially if that possession arrow is in their favor at the start of the third. Not the start you wanted from monstah. Not all is lost. But he's only got 2 timeouts to his name. Defense is going to need to be immaculate. Might still give up 3 points. 6 still on the table, though. Need to convert on this third down on the defensive end to put a stop to that. Hands on the quarterback. A good way to start. Rare sack. We talked about how rare sacks are throughout this semester. So always good to get hands on the quarterback for a loss, especially on your own goal line. monstah going to choose to go all in on defense. Wants to keep these 2 timeouts for when he returns to the offensive side of the football. Want to see a quick return right here with a conversion on 4th down. Some time under center, and this time monstah with the interception. Gonna move out. Want to see him get to that left sideline. Man, Gabriel, that quarterback for the Cats on Oregon, such a fast cover. We've seen so many fast QBs provide some surprising defensive value on an interception. So monstah gonna have to settle for starting from his own 20. Want to see him hit the sideline. Want to see him get out of bounds as well. Save a timeout. He's finally pushed out of bounds, but not before getting to about midfield. A tremendous gain here on first down for monstah. Want to see him continue that momentum. Might see a scramble come out from Ewers. The hesitation, and the ball is dropped. Nice hesitation under center. He was able to draw the user on middle linebacker right back to the line of scrimmage. Had a small window because of that. Wasn't able to convert. Instead, it's 2nd and 10. Oh, that's a dangerous ball. Throws it right into the hands of the receiver or the opposing cornerback. And the Cat's going to bring it right back to the 31. A dangerous ball, especially because it was thrown short. It was overthrew his receiver, let it downfield. Certainly had a shot, but throwing it short like that on a deep ball, so dangerous for the defense. monstah diving out. The CPU is going to have his back. The second man going to bring about 2nd and 10. Stay with monstah until the end of the first half here. 15-0, bleak, but far from over. monstah Mash can come up with a stop and a sack on the quarterback. monstah's 3rd of the game. Going to do just that. And that is going to bring us to the end of the first half. The Cats not going to use any of their timeouts en route to a strong first half game out of the Cats. So we'll take a brief break. Again, we'll look to catch an update on the MunDayne POV, which has been MIA, unfortunately. He's been such a high scoring player. We've just not been able to raise the MunDayne POV, folks. Hopefully that'll change. Especially because on the other side of things, we've got the inkling of a blowout here as we return right as BigSneezy hits the impressive performance. He's up 35-0, folks. I couldn't even catch the game time before the halftime. I believe the halftime approached, but you see it on way back there, 35. And oh, in the first quarter. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. BigSneezy looking to get us out of here in a hurry. 35-0 in a quarter. We talked about it in week 2 when Adonis famously dropped 73-8 in a half. BigSneezy looking to outdo him here. Gonna keep the opposing offense contained. Just a short gain of 6 for ECU here on first down. The shutout continues for Sneezy, but here, just short of his own end zone, gonna be hard to keep up that perfection. The shutout is dead for BigSneezy, still up huge here in the start of the second. Yeah, MunDayne, I mean, it happens, brother. Sometimes the stream just doesn't work. The internet bug catches everybody, so no shame in that game. Hopefully it'll be good for the Madden stream tomorrow night. But until then, it looks like we'll have to catch the MunDayne updates from that final score report when we grab navies as well later tonight. Stay on board with Sneezy. You saw those wide receivers on the edges of your screen. BigSneezy surely gonna see them as well. Able to identify the deep drop. Gonna scramble with the quarterback for the first. Heads up plays out of Sneezy. Just going through his reads. Some spots they're all covered. Again, another deep zone. This time Sneezy gonna burn him by going underneath. We talked about it in previous weeks, especially with MunDayne being tested in that overtime against Muskingum in game 1 by playing outside the numbers. You got to have your zone defense come down a little bit. That's not happening right now, so Sneezy's able to burn him another window out of the line of scrimmage on the run for another first. So because ECU have got their zones so far back, it makes it really easy for Sneezy. You see these routes, Egbuka, triangle, and I believe that was circle on the right side of your screen. These underneath routes just go right under the zone because so far ECU are not adjusting where they're set. Sneezy continuing to do damage on the ground as well. Disconnected game 1. Oh my goodness. MunDayne has got, the stream is not working. The game is not working. I know MunDayne started early, so it's amazing he's already in game 2. 14-7. There's that deep drop. The man has a step. BigSneezy gonna burn him yet again for the score. Too easy for that, man. You got to put 2 on the corners. You got to have a deep safety come in and help. Don't leave those receivers down the sideline on an island. Just too dangerous. We've seen it week after week. Not just for Sneezy, plenty of our post-university players here have shown they're able to make that read. Sneezy doing it to perfection en route to an incredible game 1. It's Swiss format and Sneezy undefeated here. So he's up against another player who's also 3-0, far from any slouches remaining because of that Swiss format and how deep we are in the season. But Sneezy still continuing to show just another level above the rest of his competition. Curve to the left sideline from ECU, gonna go nowhere. All semester we mentioned it. Play outside the numbers. Had a moment there. No safety help. But the throw's a little wide. They cannot come up with the reception. Well, we've talked about it, especially week 3. MunDayne in that OT. And Adonis in that game 1 as well against Bellarmine. Felt like both of their opponents were just scheming entirely to avoid playing outside the number or inside the numbers, avoiding those user linebackers at all costs.
It's a really nice job in coverage defensively there because that time
ECU
wasn't really even
running it back.
just still
Second time's the charm, but still going to be short of the first down. They're not going to stay on offense. The punting unit going to come out once again on 4th and 1. Interesting call from ECU, playing it safe while down so many points. They believe they can make some magic with how much time is left in this game. And again, options underneath, deep receivers as well. This time they're able to light up the quarterback before Sneezy can make that read. Looked like he was thinking about a scramble. Just too little too late for the big Sneezy for a loss of 4. Need that time under center for that deep read to come through. And Big Sneezy's got a window yet again down the left sideline. Deja vu, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it? Another touchdown for Big Sneezy. The money maker play for Sneezy here. We've seen it go good on 3 of his scores here. Looking to rub some salt in the wound. Increase that score differential that's so important later in the season. And go for 2. The end around. Gonna do the trick. This Big Sneezy's got the 50 bomb. Haven't seen that out of Big Sneezy since I believe week 2. Now week 2, Big Sneezy had huge games. Currently the post-university college football 25 leading scorer. He dropped an 80-point game, 8-0 in week 2. Had lower scoring games in week 3. Looks back up to the regularly scheduled program for the Big Sneezy here in week 4. CPU's got his back, so didn't mind. Had he missed the tackle there, the diving tackle not being necessary to shut it down for a gain of 3. Interesting play. It looked like Sneezy's bringing in one of the safeties for some extra coverage. Down low, once again going all in on that run. At least scheming like it. We'll see if he drops back once the ball is snapped. It's going to do just that. It's going to give a small window. That's all ECU need for the first. Take a brief break. I just want to catch the Monster Mash game, as their game continues to be close. We will head over to the Monster Mash POV. Especially as their game, you didn't catch this play as I was swapping over. Monster just threw another interception that got his opponent, the Cats, the ECC Cats, the football. Gonna need to see some clutch defense out of Monster Masher. He's still got 2 timeouts to his name, but he needs to stop here and he needs to use these timeouts. The timeout doesn't come out. This is going to be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen, and that's exactly what we... No, there's the timeout. Surely you don't see the Longhorns mascot dancing like that if that was the final score. And there's victory formation, not enough timeouts, and that'll do it for the end of Monster's game 1. A close 7-15. Again, Monster's games excel when he can win through his defense and keep the score low. Had a low scoring game, but the defense was not up to snuff. A close loss in game 1 for Monster, as we will get right back to the Big Sneezy point of view as we have hit halftime here in game 1. You wonder if you'll see an early forfeit out of ECU. Certainly been on the table in the past. 35-7. Yeah, MunDayne looks like he's going to be rolling to stay undefeated. Had a nail biter in week 3. Looks like he's back to his regularly scheduled programming as well here in week 4. So the possession arrow, as we mentioned, going to go in Sneezy's favor in a game that's already been all Sneezy all the time. So you wonder again if the ECU Tigers are going to be waving any white flags here in game 1, looking to move on to game 2. It's always something in the back of every player's mind, especially because you have to go to your secondaries as you win games. Especially because BigSneezy can do no wrong. Another one-play touchdown for the BigSneezy. Going to the house on 1st and 10. Very first possession of the second half. And Sneezy, yet again, that score differential is so important. He's keeping that in mind. The end around comes around yet again for BigSneezy on the 2-point conversion.
And this is where my leadership and my experience comes into play. When you got guys that have been through these fires, been through these rivalry games, you know the swings happen quick. Now you got to swing it back your way.
And there's 2 ways to lock in playoffs. You can play a narrow season, maybe go 4-3, have that point differential go in your favor, or you can just blow out every single opponent in your sights. BigSneezy keeping both in mind so far with that PAT, that 2-point PAT.
It's just so nice to know you can start off on first down with positive plays. Positive yards, hand the football off, set up a good second down. Got 3 on first down at 2nd and 7.
BigSneezy again. Week 3 was the week of nail biters, the closest games we had seen so far. Thought we'd see more of that in week 4, but so far everyone is rolling. Monstah Mash looking to come back into his second game, and even he had a close game as well. 3rd and short, and nobody's open. Caught for the gain of 3, and the punt team comes out yet again. ECU playing some fundamental college football 25. BigSneezy certainly going to take that to the bank. Maybe another score coming in as well. Looking to turn the corner on the punt return. Not going to be. Going to have to settle for 1st and 10 at the 40. And BigSneezy looking to run a 1-play challenge here. We've seen, and look at the deep 3. The deep 3 prevent out of ECU. They do not want any more left sideline, any more slot receiver. Please no deep ball from, says ECU, with that sort of defense. And we alluded to it. Sneezy hasn't gone to it too often, but he's done a good job of reading these deep zones. I imagine he'll have no problem slicing up underneath for easy yardage. And there it is. The easy yardage, the spin move for even more, going to get us into the red zone. A big 1-play touchdowns are certainly going to make the highlight reel, but Sneezy can do no wrong through the air right now. The deep 3 prevent coming out in the red zone. ECU is petrified of Sneezy under center right now. The deep 3 prevent at your own 18 is almost absurd. And it's still not stopping Sneezy from throwing underneath there on 2nd and 8. Looks like the deep 3 prevent. It's just getting squished because of how little field is even remaining. Sneezy looking to go for the scramble. He's going to be brought down for a loss of 2 instead. Sneezy playing with no fear. Surely you see the offense stay out here, and they do. Sneezy, oh, the fade route to nowhere. Looked like the 2 receivers were getting caught under each other on that left sideline out of the snap. Sneezy gonna have to settle with 0. Nice response there on 1st and 10 for the loss of 3. Yet again, not exactly a TFL, just a short gain of 1. Happily take that if you're Sneezy. 3rd and 12. Looking to go through the air. BigSneezy gonna pick it off. Gonna look to house this. Gonna do just that. BigSneezy doing work on both sides of the football. The pick 6 for 6 more points for the BigSneezy. BigSneezy looking to switch it up. The end around going the other way. Just kidding. We're going the exact same way. BigSneezy asking one question. Can you beat these 3 plays if I just run them over and over and over again? The question for East Central right now is absolutely not. 66-7 is your score here in the 3rd quarter. BigSneezy can do no wrong. He's running I didn't even notice that on the defensive end. He's got 3 blitz plays in his back pocket. He is not worried about what ECU are doing in the air. Understandably, he's been able to take care of it single-handedly from that middle linebacker spot. And again, Sneezy keeping the corners low rather than using one of those linebacker positions. Is not worried about any attack through the air. He'll handle that himself. So we'll take a brief break from the BigSneezy show. We'll try to catch the end of their game to grab the final score. Want to see if we have any updates on the Monster Mash show. Monster may have started his game early as well because his stream is down. So let me just quickly double check before we get back to BigSneezy, who's, again, we've had packed streams. We saw the multi-box in week 1. Sneezy going to be the beneficiary. All eyes on him here in week 4. I do not see the Monster Mash stream, but we unfortunately don't have the update, that score report coming in on the ECAC side of things. So we'll wait for that. Again, we'll hopefully catch it later tonight. Until then, BigSneezy, all eyes on the BigSneezy right now in week 4.
Whatever that looks like for this offense, something to jumpstart them because nothing really going on the ground.
Yeah, defensively though, you got to give them credit too because they knew that physically they were going to
Loaded backfield, so BigSneezy making that read, bring the extra man. It's just locked in. Nothing can go wrong for BigSneezy right now.
A 3rd and long coming up here. Give to the running back. Nowhere to run.
4th and 14. Surely you see the offense stay out. It's 4th and 14 with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. You're not worried about the scoreline. If you're ECU, you're just trying to get any momentum. Try to find an answer to the defense Sneezy's throwing out. Instead, it's the punting unit. I don't know if that's what you want to see if you're East Central U. I'm obviously not either of these players on the field. But that's waving the white flag as ECU takes us to the 2-minute timeout.
The Nittany Lions will try to pin them back with the punt. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today.
The 5th punt, man. I mean,
Takes it on the return.
I don't know if 5 punts is what you want to see in such a lopsided game here. But again, ECU not trying to make it even easier for Sneezy to score here. That score differential, again, something to consider on both sides of this equation for both of these teams. Sneezy, once again, we're asking the question, can you beat this one play on offense? The answer there on 1st and 10 is going to be no. BigSneezy going to move the chains through the air.
No doubt. They're going to love watching this game film too. There's just so many positives to take away from this. And this is the kind
No
of
deep 3
performance
prevent
today
out of ECU this time at least.
He uncorks
And okay, there it is. Maybe we should have kept the deep 3 prevent defense. Oh my goodness. And 6 more points for BigSneezy. We usually don't get to watch these sorts of clobberings because of how often we swap points of view to find the close game. BigSneezy showing us what it's like to have a blowout victory. Here comes the end around. Here comes 2 more points. I mean, deja vu, ladies and gentlemen. BigSneezy, the onside kick is coming out. BigSneezy not going to leave anything up to chance here. Again, depending on how score differential goes at the end of the semester, blowouts like these matter. Getting extra points like these matter. BigSneezy keeping that in mind. It's easy to forget about it when you're up 74-7 in the 4th quarter. BigSneezy a timeout. He wants his football back. He knows he can get easy points to tally on that score differential. So why not take him?
There's not a lot of good to go back to. That'd be a quick film session because there was more negatives than positives. But when you look at this week you got a week to figure it out.
The timeout coming up on 3rd and 13. Wait, ECU have been playing. They'll surely punt on 4th as well. which will leave Sneezy a minute, which so far this game has been proven to be so much time for that man. Not going to need a 4th down stop as BigSneezy going to come up with the interception on 3rd and 13. Moving with the quickness down the left sideline. Surely he's good for 6 points here. It's a foot race at the 10-yard line. Nothing you can do. The name of the game for BigSneezy here in week 1 against East Central University. The Tigers have got no answer for the Sneezy show. No end around this time. We're switching up the offense. The short completion. Probably should have gone back to the end around as it's not going to go. Sneezy going to have to settle for 80-7. Tying his week 2 scoreline, his game 2 against Concord University, where he dropped 80-24. That's a new single game record for Post University, at least by score differential here. East Central continuing to stay hot under center. Can't intercept the football if you're running the football. There goes the last time out for Sneezy. East Central can take us to victory formation if they would like. We'll see what happens here on 2nd and 14. We have 3rd and long for East Central. BigSneezy, you got to stop here. You knock the football loose. You have a chance. Unfortunately here, 4th and 17. The punting unit still going to come out. They can take us all the way to 0 seconds. Looks like they're going to do just that, folks. We can book it. 80-7 for the BigSneezy. I mean, again, folks, we don't see too much of this. We see it in spurts. We try to get the closest games as they're happening week to week. BigSneezy knows it's all eyes on him here in week 4. He has put on a show in game 1. 80-7 is his game 1 scoreline here against East Central University. We'll take a brief break and return with game 2. Again, Sneezy not going to be able to stay on his Ohio State Buckeyes there. He will need to swap. Got a brief flash of the score lines from last week in case y'all missed anything, as I will look for any updates as they come in from any of the other matches. And Adonis taking that week 4 forfeit loss, so he exits the undefeated group. Rarefied air. Got Sneezy and MunDayne still at the top of the mountain for Post University. Still no updates from Navy's game. We don't have the final scores out of MunDayne's match or the finals from monstah either. So we'll take a brief break, folks. It does look like they're moving with the quickness. So we'll be back with game 2 in just a little bit here. Don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. BigSneezy on the Georgia Bulldogs. Another squad, a quarterback that certainly can scramble. As we run a no-league stream, I will not be showing the Sneezy adjustments on our screen, folks. But again, Georgia, a squad that does not have a quarterback that's that dangerous under center. Certainly something to keep in mind, but this is not a scramble first QB option play kind of offense that we'll be seeing. We will be seeing that out of Alabama on the other side with, if I recall correctly, Jalen Wilson. He'll be able to be a running threat under center. We'll see how Sneezy's able to respond to that action. And speaking of running play, it comes out right on first down, but so does the football. Oh my goodness. Jalen Milroe, excuse me, I got the QB's name wrong. BigSneezy making that play all sorts of wrong for ECU. On first down, they come up with a turnover. Here's Carson Beck under center, a dangerous ball, still hauled in for the first down. It's MunDayne 49-7 game 2. That's what we love to see. Getting out of there in just under an hour as well, as he'll stay in that undefeated column. Again, fingers crossed the stream is good for the Madden tomorrow and more college football later this semester. Always good to see Post University stay in that undefeated streak. Sneezy on pace to do just that as well here in week 3. Gonna have to get a tough third down conversion here. Dude, we've got the play action, the QB rollout. He's got an option, and he's going to find it for the score. ECU just a step slow on the QB rollout. Did not look like Sneezy had any problem dissecting the defense there. And Sneezy, like he never left. Like it's game 1 still. Going to go for the 2-point PAT. Going to have 2 points going the other way here, and 2-point pick six surely on the table. It's a foot race to catch number 11. But it looks like Campbell's going to make it all the way. No, he's just short. Oh, that's not what you want to see if you're ECU. Those 2-point PATs are all or nothing. So going 99 yards. Going to do nothing for East Central other than shut down the PAT. So certainly not a bad option. But it's not like any other interception where it's going to gain you a whole lot of yardage on offense. Instead, it's going to be a fair catch and 1st and 10 at the 25 for ECU. Sneezy continuing to play this heavy-handed off defense, rather. The blitz, the cornerback coming in for the extra man down low. And that extra man proving the difference. Sneezy coming up with the tackle for a gain of 5. There it is. This is a unique defensive coverage. For as much middle linebacker play as we've seen, Sneezy switching it up, bringing the corner and the safeties down into the box. And that's why he can do it. He's trusting his CPU defenders to stay in position. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's how you pick 6, ladies and gentlemen. Sneezy taking the interception all the way to the house. PAT coming out, 2-point conversion. We'll get Sneezy right back on schedule with a 14-0 lead. The run offense on these PATs staying perfect. Sneezy passing on these PATs, I sleep. But Sneezy running the football on those PATs have been a major issue for ECU in this game. Look at that, 2 takeaways in 2 possessions for ECU. They're locked up in a straitjacket right now. Sneezy continuing to dare East Central to beat him through the air. Throw pass, I dare ya. That's what he's doing by bringing that cornerback in. He's not worried about any deep balls or any dangerous plays developing from the pass. So he's bringing in that extra man, not playing middle linebacker. Hitting an extra man out of the secondary instead. And the screen pass coming in. The extra man not going to be enough to stop the first down conversion for the Tigers this time. Extra man was there in the play, but got blocked off. That's going to be... Is that ECU's first down conversion? I believe it's their second or third. Haven't had too much in the way of shining on offense. Going to look to continue that success here on 1st and 10. Instead, it'll be a gain of 1.
I'll tell you, this is a running back who's very, very dangerous, and the defense did a good job getting him down there. But you got to do a great job gang tackling, because this is a guy that can break tackles and turn those types.
Still daring to beat him through the air. The short pass going to be caught for a gain of 9. Something to consider, especially as Sneezy is running that same concept. ECU might be well aware of the user. You won't see the user pre-snap if you're ECU. But if you see a player on defense acting a little suspect pre-snap, you can usually tell. I would not be surprised if ECU have already sussed that out. But it doesn't matter when the CPU's got your back and come up for a sack for a loss of 7. We talked about that as well. The metagaming that occurs as both players identify where their opponents like to user on defense and play around those spots. It looks like it's happening for East Central U. We saw that one reception they had on that previous drive go in the opposite direction of where Sneezy had brought in the defender. Still going to be same result though. Sneezy back on offense and a dangerous deep ball just thrown short. And it's going to be an interception. Surely not going to go all the way. Brought down to just at the 34. Sneezy still pitching a shutout on defense, up 14-0. He's not making it easy on himself so far this game though. That ball not going to be knocked out. Going to be caught for a gain of 3.
Well, when you're running the drag route against man coverage like that, as a quarterback, you got to put the ball out in front of your target. When you do that, you give the guy a chance to then advance the football up the field, pick up a first down like they did right there.
ECU continuing to have no answer for this stacked box that Sneezy has been running repeatedly. Oh, and that's how you beat them. Those crossing routes, no help down low, or no help outside rather. They're going to take it all the way for the score. Those have been the big chunk plays that ECU have been able to get in this game and in game 1. You have enough time. The way Sneezy's playing defense, if you have time under center, those routes can be dangerous, especially those crossers. Still a close game for Big Sneezy. He's certainly still feeling good after his absurd game 1, 80-7 victory. This is not a cakewalk. A one-score game is as close as it's been since 0-0 in game 1 and game 2 for Big Sneezy. He's looking to turn the corner. The spin move to get past the first 2 defenders. The help gonna arrive. Stop Sneezy just short of the first. We talked about it in week 1 with Big Sneezy. That man is a mean spin move. He's got a mean spin move on him. Down the left sideline, just wide of his receiver. And it'll be 3rd and 1. The man was open. So if I'm Big Sneezy, I'm not feeling too bad about it. Got a weapon, number 5, square on the left sideline. If he's open, Sneezy's going to know about it. Instead, Beck, the rare scramble out of the Georgia QB for the first. It'd be remiss for East Central U to have a QB spy on Georgia, but still not feeling too great about that. Would have been their first defensive stop there on defense. Oh, the fumbles, the ball is loose. And ECU have got it. Speaking of a defensive stop, they've got one here. They're looking to take it all the way to the end zone. Lineman on lineman. ECU gonna win the race to the end zone to tie up this game. Sneezy, man, playing with his food just a little bit. So we're all tied up at 2 scores apiece. No PAT shenanigans out of East Central U. They're just gonna look to tie us up clean at 14 apiece. That's the long game we talked about in game 1. Doesn't matter if you win game 1, 1,000,000,000. You can't come out with the same squad. Gotta prove you can do it with at least 2 different teams. So far, Sneezy on Georgia's been a different beast than Sneezy on Ohio State. Still making a mess of the offense with that deep ball, but it's dropped. Alabama on defense has been working wonders for East Central as well. All of these, the secondary's been just a hair closer to all these receivers. And that's been enough to cause some drops, force Sneezy to throw outside the receivers, overlead his receivers with incompletions. And you saw just now, give up that fumble recovery for the score. So again, it's easy to lull yourself into a false sense of security after that game 1 domination. Still a lot at stake for Sneezy to walk the walk and talk the talk here in game 2. Rolling out, dangerous ball across the field, and he couldn't see if his man was really open. Relying on scheme to get him open. Comes back to bite him. It's a pick 6, another turnover going right to a score for East Central. So Sneezy's defense, you wouldn't expect it, has done pretty good. Unfortunate turnovers on the offensive side of the football, really hurting him here. 2 of Alabama's scores. East Central U got 14 of their 21 points off the back of some defensive mastery. 2 turnovers for 2 scores. You saw on your screen there as well, 3 takeaways. He's got to lock in Carson Beck cold under center. Similar when you're cold in 2K. Some of these stats not going to be good. An easy completion to get Sneezy on the board here and moving down the field up to the 40. Nothing but green grass and another tie game. Sneezy responding immediately on offense. Not looking to let this game get too out of hand. 1 play, 11 seconds is all we needed, and we're back to a tie game.
No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch.
So Sneezy, again, the defense has been really solid. You wouldn't expect it. Do you want to see more of that success here out of Sneezy from the defensive side of the football? Again, he had a takeaway on the very first play on defense. Want to see more of that magic here on 1st and 10. Instead, it'll be a tackle. Gonna keep him parked at the 25. Easy continuing to dare ECU to beat him through the air. Gonna grab a TFL for a loss of 1. Dangerous ball. It's hauled in somehow. We've seen on the MunDayne cam, he'd be kicking himself after how close of a reception that was. I'm sure Sneezy's doing something similar there. Needed like a couple frames to get his hands up on the football. Instead, it'll be 4th and inches, and that's what'll convince ECU to finally stay on the field here. Tie game. Major gut check play here on 4th and inches. Loaded backfield, so the run coming in. Sneezy gonna stop it all the same. Bring in the fullback, another halfback, the quarterback blocking. Does not matter. You run that football, Sneezy's gonna stop it.
Like you live in the analytics world, and I know people say go for it more often. I don't see the point in going
Now
for it
Sneezy.
early in the game in that situation.
Bird's eye view of the end zone here.
Motion from the offense.
You've seen him make magic from his own 25. Surely gonna be no problem starting the offense
In the back.
from the opposing 30.
Finally,
As the first play is gonna get him at the red zone.
offense rolling with a first down.
Man, how about the first half this guy's having? He already has 2 touchdowns, picks up a huge first down right here. On defense, you're going to have to find a way to control this guy. You're going to have to make some big-time adjustments at halftime.
Grab
Those blockers went nowhere. Sneezy's probably happy it's not an interception. Don't think we'll be here long enough to watch the replay, but yeah, those blockers were shed immediately. Those corners were ready to attack the football. And again, the possession error going the way of Sneezy here. So leaving with any points would be good. Sneezy lucky to not leave with a fumble there, getting brought down for just a gain of 2.
Guy at the quarterback spot, he can just do that. Pull it down, get positive yards, makes the defense have to account for him every single play.
Sneezy some motion under center. Let's see if it'll be enough to open up the defense. It is going to be the comeback route that gets him the first down and into first and goal. This time the Carson Beck rollout works just as you expected.
Exactly where to go with the football.
Couldn't do that last time. The receivers were way too downfield. We had to chuck it across the sideline for that interception. This time it's first and goal. The end around fake.
That one did not go well.
End around fake play blown up for a loss of 7.
This is why you got to be running the ball in between the tackles down here. You give it to your wide receiver, it's effective.
Apparently running plays on first and goal only work if it's a PAT.
Yards like they just
That one goes nowhere.
And he was hit.
Sneezy lucky that one was not called a fumble. Instead it'll be third and goal.
He didn't have a whole lot of time to get rid of that one. The defense was all over him right after the snap. No wonder that.
Tom Sneezy, you want to lock in the safety
They've gotten pushed.
of having a lead, especially because you've got that football. But so far, you're on third and goal. If you can get a score, get it to go. Instead, the screenplay goes nowhere. We have fourth down. Looks like Sneezy keeping the offense out. No, bringing out the kicking unit for the field goal.
It's good. He hit that one right down the middle.
A lot of time left in this game. The 2-minute timeout and 3 timeouts are standing between East Central and putting more points on the board. That's got to be at the top of their mind,
Fair catch. Call
especially as they know they will not start with the football in the second half.
Here comes that Alabama offense. I think the one thing you can say here, Jesse, is that both defenses have done a pretty good job mitigating damages.
Yeah,
Play action. Still going to bring down the quarterback.
Pays off. That's a sack at the 20. Second down.
Defense continuing to do work for Sneezy here.
Off before the 2-minute warning.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout.
Mark, and they have a chance to at least cut into this lead before the break. They'll try to keep that sack from wrecking this drive here on second and
It's a good first down. Want to see more magic on second and long. Instead, it'll be a pair of spin moves. They're going to move the chains for ECU. The hurry-up offense. No timeouts coming out just yet for the Tigers.
Miller with the ball.
Trying to get around the edge.
That's what you try to do.
Brought down after a gain of 2.
Damage when they run the football. Get them on the ground, short gains to set your defense for positive situations down the road.
Oh, Sneezy. Another high-level read. Just short of making a play on the football. Gonna have to settle for 3rd and 8 here.
From the gun, wants to pass.
And that pass is bobbled out.
On 3rd down and the rarest of drops for this
Honestly, yeah, I mean, it's a completely different game here in week 2
team on the field. This will
for
be the second
sure.
time they've had to kick it away.
You wonder how much of it is Sneezy, you know, keeping it in first gear here in game 2 after lighting up the offense in week 1 or in game 1
Comes out to the 20 on the touchback.
for the switch to Georgia. Again, the defense has been much closer played by ECU here in
Get another look at this Bulldog
game
offense.
2.
Always good to get points on a drive, Dave.
But Sneezy, now you've got 3 timeouts. No 2-minute timeout.
And I think it's great to get points, but the
Maybe a roughing the passer? I would be surprised if that's what we got here. That's exactly what we've got here. A roughing the passer penalty. Very rare.
Red zone offenses are the ones that run the ball the best. So
Not the rarest call. We all know that's intentional grounding in this video game. But not something you very often see. Sneezy is going to happily take it.
They'll throw it on first down.
Trying to find the open man. He's got him wide. Wide open, going end to end. Sneezy in one play going right to the 5-yard line.
beautiful throw and catch on this play, and I love the job the receiver did tracking the ball in the air. Nice job of locating.
Sneezy with a chance to blow this game wide open. Again, leave us some points and start with the football in third. Not going to do it on first down.
Defense coming with bad intentions. They knock him down for a loss.
And that's exactly why this linebacker has to stay on the field every single down, because he's so good in space.
Sneezy's been elite when he needs to go the entire length of the field, but so far the ECU defense holding strong at the goal line.
To use its first time out of the half. This defense didn't hang its head. They've stood tall after the big play. Third and goal coming.
Again, Sneezy has not had to worry about this end zone offense, but the problems continue. 4th and goal, a gain of 0, I believe, on third down.
4th down here, it's still early in the game. I'm not chasing points. Take the field goal, pay this drive off.
and they have analytical cards nowadays that says the exact situation, what the score is.
Sneezy going to stay on offense on 4th and goal. What'll most likely be the last play of the drive.
And it'll be
Last play of the half as well. That ball going to go nowhere.
not only on the pick, but on the
8 seconds left in the second quarter. The defense for ECU continuing to pay dividends as they try to claw back into the series. There's the deep 3-man prevent defense coming out of Sneezy. He's not going to be one to give up a 1-play touchdown.
first down off the play fake.
Play action going to go nowhere. It's going to bring us to the end of the half. East Central not looking to go boom or bust one more time. Instead, it'll be 24-21. 2 completely different games, folks, in this best of 3 so far.
Ready to put a boot to it to start the second half.
Easy's continue to go boom or bust. We saw 4th down at the end of the first half. He could have taken a field goal to be up 6. Could have played the field goal game, some field goal math, trusted in his defense. Continue to pile on those safe points. He went boom or bust, so he's going to be starting out here with just a narrow 3-point lead on his 13-yard line.
Might be over, Reese, but if you're on defense right now, you've gotten a couple turnovers.
Screen pass blown up for a loss of 2.
To keep this up, we got to stay aggressive for us to have a chance to win this game, but we believe we can do it.
Yeah, you've already done it, so of course you're going to believe it. Keep playing fast, keep playing physical, and then tell your offense, hey, we need a little help over here.
Run play out of the shadow of their own end zone. Gonna bring about 3rd and long for Sneezy, as he has not found anywhere near the virtual perfection he saw in game 1. Remember, he won it 80-7. Looking for the scramble. The football's loose. Oh my goodness. ECU not able to get their hands on it. It's bobbled up field, and Sneezy somehow's got a first down.
They're very lucky after that fumble that the offense jumped on.
A
Georgia coming out with a fresh set of downs.
narrow margin for success on that play for Sneezy, but he's able to thread the needle, and we have 1st and 10.
He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
Great job of contained by this defense, and in order to do that, the end man on the line of scrimmage defensively has got
Sneezy got the football back, not going to go anywhere with it on 1st down. What has he got on 2nd and 10?
exactly what happened.
Dangerous ball. That's exactly what we talked about. This defense for ECU playing the ball just a little bit closer.
Here they wanted to really
The secondary is just a little bit closer. These linemen are getting there just a little bit faster.
They've made third down
A couple of seconds have been the difference between a blowout in game 1 and a 3-point game for Sneezy. That play continuing to work magic. You give Sneezy time and space, it's only a matter of time before he burns you.
Georgia going back to work with
Big gain to get just outside the red zone here.
He'll
This man completely uncovered, hurdling his way to the end zone. 2 boom plays. After a couple of errors on offense, nearly giving up the football with the fumble that was recovered for the first down. Able to get back in stride on offense there. 2 big plays through the air for the score.
Yeah, that's easy. I mean, he's already read your mail. You better change the address and do something different.
The Tide offense rolls onto the field. The deficit here is just 10 points, David, so a chance to answer here.
Sneezy defense has stayed consistent,
This offense just has to put
bringing all sorts of that pressure.
and listen, the defense will get
Sneezy even bringing in the safety or the corners for the action.
Opportunity to keep the pressure on the opponent. Yeah, they just went down and scored, but you score here.
Suffocating defense out of Sneezy here.
You keep their feet to the fire, so an opportunity here.
East Central able to break out.
Can't find a receiver.
Not for any gain of yards though. Going to be 3rd and 10.
This offense is desperate to keep this drive alive, trailing by multiple possessions, and it's getting late. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it.
Another rollout. Going to go nowhere for ECU. And out comes that punting unit. Sneezy with a chance to really bookend this game and put an end to it early if he can get another score on the board here. Make it a multiple possession game, more than 2 possession game.
They'll get downfield and make the tackle right at the 16-yard line. We're ready to
Certainly not going to be the 80-7 scoreline we saw
that last drive and
in game 1.
real assault for the
But a touchdown here would make this a very comfortable lead. A massive blades of grass for Sneezy to walk his way through all the way up to the 30, flipping the field in one play.
completion before the defense brings him down.
Before it's been a problem for ECU to guard.
That play, he was just
And this play has continued to work.
any easier. Just simple pitch and catch.
Yeah, that made it easy because the defense didn't cover him. And that's one of those where you're going
Scramble comes up and goes nowhere. MunDayne
Down at the 31.
did not catch that he lost game 1 due to the disconnect.
Dominance on defense, especially in recent years.
But he ices up and wins game 3, so we love to see it.
Playing on the defensive line. Guys that can
All's well that ends well. Sneezy this time. A little too patient under center. Gets lit up
seeing some life from the
for the sack. We have 3rd and long
all game long up to this
for Big
point,
Sneezy.
but back-to-back sacks on 2 consecutive plays. They're at least still trying to fight back in this game.
On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep.
Continue to go to work, but this time it's broken up in the air.
Trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down. They'll try to
Yeah, 4th and 18, and here come the safe points for Big Sneezy. Gonna be quite a far kick coming out at just about the 38. And the kick is good. Close for comfort, but it counts all the same. 34 to 21 gonna be your score here.
set to kick it away. Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. Here comes that Alabama offense. The last time we saw this offense, we had to look quick. It was a 3-and-out, Jesse.
They just had no rhythm in that last drive.
Sneezy. Oh my goodness, the tackle missed by a hair. The help gonna bring him down the second time around. It looked like Sneezy usured the lineman right as he was making the tackle, caused him to miss.
From the 14.
Thankfully, it was already a lost cause for ECU under center. Play action gonna open up some space. The spin move gonna get him to 3rd and 3.
Faced with a 3rd and short from their own 32 to keep this drive alive.
Third and 3, but surely desperation time if you're ECU and can't get it on 3rd down.
They'll try to get the first through the air.
Quick pass.
In the middle, it's
Gonna be a short gain of 1.
they stop him just short of the stick. It'll bring up a decision on 4th down.
Ooh, and that's a nice sigh of relief for the defense too, right? There was a broken tackle. The guy made it look like he was
And there it is. Go for it territory
It was a great effort defensively. They were able to get
for
the stop
ECU on
down,
4th and 2nd.
setting up 4th down.
4th and 2, rather. Some adjustments. Surely ECU want to bring all the protection they can. Sneezy yet again, right place, wrong time.
Nice job by the defense there.
The right guy, but the wrong time for Big Sneezy. But he's able to force a drop. I didn't even catch that. The ball being dropped. Sneezy gonna have the football yet again in opposing territory. Man on an island, square on the left side of your screen. Sneezy surely all over it. Instead, it's the tight end right down the middle coming up with the catch. Looked like ECU was watching the left side of the sideline as well, a little too closely. And that tight end going all the way up, or the slot receiver rather, for the score. Run right on the goal line. Gonna go all the way for the touchdown. Sneezy looking to put this game to rest here in the second half. Close first half, but no more fun and games for Big Sneezy. The 2-point PAT coming out. Surely it's a run play. Seems to be working 100% of the time for Big Sneezy. The success rate continues. 42-21. Thought it was crisis mode in the first quarter. Instead, Sneezy's up huge. Love to see that the MunDayne stream will be good to go tomorrow. We need that. Happy to hear it. So all's well that ends well for MunDayne. He comes up with the 2-1 victory. And he's fixing the stream for tomorrow and next week. Whole lot of juke moves coming out for ECU. Gonna come away with the first down. Giving up some yardage, but the run game gonna give up a lot of game clock. So if you gotta choose a way to get beat on the ground, is not the worst way. Especially as ECU have not been operating under any sort of hurry-up offense here. To take us to the end of the third quarter, that one broken up. 3 scores, 21 points between ECU and tying up this game. We've seen swings before. Saw Sneezy come up with a huge offensive explosion in the third. ECU gonna have to convert one of those. Instead, they're gonna start the first play of the fourth quarter, throwing it right at Big Sneezy, daring him to intercept the football. He does happily obliges there. ECU can't believe it, looking at his hand. Can't believe he did that one. As a score here would certainly put this game to bed. Some shenanigans in the backfield. And yet again, number 4. Slot receiver has been an absolute problem. No, that is the tight end. I do know ball. X on your screen just off the line of scrimmage. Been a major issue for ECU to guard. He's open yet again. Oh my goodness. Like you can't even see him. The zone defense ECU is running. Sneezy's happily gone underneath it with the tight end for perfection on offense. From that perspective, the 2-point PAT, rinse and repeat. You run on a 2-point PAT, Big Sneezy usually's got that covered. So we're up to 50 in game 2.
No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. Here comes that Alabama offense. He wastes no time and comes out throwing.
Big Sneezy. The pitch. Pitch and catch. Be good for a gain of 3. Interesting offense out of ECU there in the fourth quarter. Screen pass. Big Sneezy's all over it. The reads on defense continue for Big Sneezy. Gonna come up with a TFL for a loss of 3. Oh, nearly. Had it caught. Gonna have to settle for 4th and 13.
And the quarterback gets hit again. We already know this defense has gotten home to him multiple times in this game. So here you are, you're trailing in the game. Defense knows you're going to throw it. They're pinning their ears back. You can't feel very confident right now if you're the play caller, certainly if you're the quarterback, that you're going to have time to throw.
Alabama will bring the punt team on the field. He's getting
And
a
the
lot
punting
of
unit,
work
man,
on
on
Friday
in the
tonight.
fourth quarter, down 3
You'd
scores.
think they would have had a good
I don't
chance
have a
to
prop
down
white
down
flag
the
to be
team, but
waving.
Browns carries it into the end zone for the touchback.
You might as well have just seen it on your screen there, ladies and gentlemen. The punting unit coming out this late in the game, this many scores, with how BigSneezy's been on offense. You see the deep safeties. ECU trying to do anything they can to not get beat through the air.
To the wideout. It's complete.
Sneezy ends up finding a way all the same.
Exactly what you're looking for when you talk explosive plays. The defense
3 catches, 123 yards. I just caught that, by the way. That is absurd. You see square on the left side of your screen.
down from the 49ers.
100% guarantee that Sneezy does as well. He's going to watch where these safeties move. Doesn't look like that's open.
And he left that
Had the tight end open, but was already running backwards. So going to settle for the incompletion.
They're still throwing the football here this late in the game with this kind of lead. They're
Yet again, try and go and square on the left side of your screen.
but obviously
Where do you commit?
still seeing Matt.
he lets it fly.
Going to go for the deep ball.
And it's in.
Going to settle for the incompletion.
Shot on second down.
As we mentioned, the ECU defense, Alabama's been a much better cover
I used to play for in college.
for what Sneezy's been trying to run here.
Ball coach. He used to like to do this. He would have big leads in the fourth.
Shirley watching that left side of the field.
A shot
Trying to see if he can find someone with a step. And he does for the score. The moon ball.
the pummeling has
Walking his receiver all the way to the end zone for the touchdown.
lined up to go for two.
As we said, you give Sneezy that kind of time, he will find ways to burn you.
Now try to power it in.
The PAT run,
Into the end zone for the
as soon as he selected the run play,
extend the lead
might as well have tallied it on right then.
on that scoring drive. Just 4
It works yet again for BigSneezy.
Finish the drive with a big play through the air, scoring from 51 yards.
No early forfeit out of East Central. You love the sportsmanship there.
Fair catch called
They're
for
looking
and
content to
made.
play it all the way. Minimize that score differential difference here at the end of the fourth.
The Tide offense rolls onto the field. Boy, 3 and out last time, David. They'd like to be more productive this time around.
Yeah, in the last drive.
Second short of a delay of game. Instead, it'll be a gain of 0 on 1st and 10. A run play and chew clock coming out of ECU. Not too sure what they're trying to go here. They're trying to bounce it out to the left sideline. Gonna get a first down and more off the spin move.
Excellent vision to find running
With that chew clock on for ECU,
pick up before the defense put a stop to
gonna bring us just short of the 2-minute timeout.
life from this offense, which has done nothing in
After
the
this
second
play, we'll
half.
get
It's
right
1st
to
and
it.
10.
But ECU might as well come out in victory formation next time around the way they've been chewing this game clock off.
And I don't think
And they're gonna bring us to a delay of game instead.
So
Lock it up,
frustrating to
ladies
see
and
an
gentlemen.
offense lose track of the
We're gonna
play
keep
clock
it
and
here.
pick up a penalty like that.
But I'm resisting the urge to call it early, double check the scores, because this game
2-minute warning. And the defense
is
knows it
over.
after a very short game.
We are going to take a brief break. We'll catch the actual end of this game. I do just want to catch if we have got any final score updates from anyone here, because this game, lock it up, ladies and gentlemen, is all I can say about that. We did get the update for MunDayne's game, and the score for Monstah's game, he lost 15-7 and 22-7. MunDayne disconnect in game 1, but domination in the other 2. Speaking of domination, more domination on your screen. Sneezy with the interception.
Number one objective for a defense is to make the
No victory formation for Sneezy either.
When they're trailing by this much late in the game, they're one-dimensional. They have to pass the football. We can bring more speed on the field. You see it. We know you're throwing the football. Nice break on the football. Nice interception. This one's almost over.
Roll out to buy some time. Still going to be incomplete as he's brought down.
Down pass and it never had a chance.
And it's a good stop for this defense. And listen, there hasn't been a lot of positive today.
Stop the clock with an incompletion.
Strong. I think that'll be the
Just going to delay the inevitable here
stop.
for the Tigers.
Off the field. I know lots went wrong, but like this living this
And it is another interception.
Heads up plays for Sneezy trying to go for the rocket catch. Instead, he's bothered. And it's going to be a turnover for Sneezy. Turnover late in game. Both teams have had no problem handing the football back and forth to each other.
Moments and things that you can build on. How about that young man going out, getting an interception perception, yeah, they're being blown out. They're probably not going to win this football game, but that is the type of play that as a coaching staff, you can build
Big
on.
timeout coming out of ECU. No, excuse me. It's coming out of Sneezy. Sneezy's trying to get this football back.
Everyone has the same
Sneezy's trying to score more points on his way out.
down now. A lot of options on 2nd and 4. The give from the gun. And
Run play 3rd and 3. Another timeout.
after a short gain.
Saw that 7 takeaways between both squads.
They want to make sure they have everybody
Sneezy with 4.
They're facing
ECU with 3.
they'll try to
3rd and short. Throw it at Big Sneezy. Right at him. Why not? Oh, the football's loose.
find his own player.
Sneezy able to retain the football after having the ball rifled right towards his already user defender.
We're ready to get another look at this Bulldog offense.
And victory formation can come out, but Big Sneezy is not going to entertain that just yet.
Salt in the wound or happy
Trying to break out the edge. Can't do so.
This makes the
Maybe a loss of 3.
handshake fun sometimes if you do choose to rub a little salt in it. Keep chugging and keep scoring. I'm here for it, Jesse. Like, your job is to score points. It's my job to stop it. Keep the foot to the accelerator. Keep trying to play ball.
I agree 1,000%.
A rollout for Sneezy. He's going to throw it. And it's going to be broken up. He had a chance to go for a little scramble with Carson Beck.
complete. That would have been
Recognized number 15 was not good for that sort of run.
They line up, and it is a long way
Instead, it'll be an incompletion.
here. Quarterback checking off.
Loads of adjustments. Surely trying to get circle on an island on the right side of your screen.
He's not
Instead, yet again trying to go
another.
to the tight end. Instead, it'll be incomplete.
And the offense comes up short on 3rd down, but I tell you what, they still have
And Sneezy again trying to get more points by any means necessary.
to see if they can.
But this is a tough field goal
It's a fake.
from way far out. And he's happy to take it because it's a fake. It won't go anywhere. Sneezy going to have to settle for 58-21. Perhaps a little bit less if he gives up some last second scores here. ECU still have 3 timeouts, so it's on the table.
The running back has it.
See if ECU have got that chew clock still on. If they do, they bring us to about 10 seconds.
They come to the line 2nd and 7.
Do still have chew clock on. This will probably be the last play of the game. Neither team looking to call any timeouts to keep this game alive any longer than they have to. Throw another one right at the Big Sneezy. Sneezy gonna find a way to leave with 6 more points on the pick 6. Lock it up, ladies and gentlemen.
And he will roll into the end zone. Touchdown.
Lock it up. The only question is the PAT gonna work like an 8th time in a row?
Who's the most dangerous guy on the field with the ball in his hands? Did you see that guy and his ability in the open?
And that question really means, is Sneezy running this football or not? The run is coming out. Gonna get out to the left side. It's a foot race. And the game was rigged from the start. 66-21. Your all but final score. Sneezy again trying to maintain possession. He got a couple more points here at the end of week 4. Oh, and that ball going over the first set
That's why they call them the hands
of special teamers. But
onside kick.
Tigers still able to maintain possession.
Line of scrimmage, that'll be a loss of 3. And here we go. Final play of the
And we
game.
will stay here. Victory formation, a one last run play.
And there is no
And Sneezy, a tight first half. We'll see the scores by quarter. Yeah, really close in the first half. All Big Sneezy in the second half. 66-21.
finish with a
Going to be your final score. And if you missed the scores from last week,
Know you're better.
Post University, MunDayne, and Sneezy going to be staying undefeated. Adonis, a W in week 3, but a forfeit loss in week 4. Navy coming out on top in a tight one. We still don't have their finals for this week, unfortunately. So we'll grab that update for y'all next week. Until then, I have been Sandwich. Hope y'all enjoyed tonight's coverage of ECAC College Football 25. We'll be here same time, same place next week. Until then, y'all have a great evening. Peace.